Hey, hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Shannon. Hi, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Today I have for you 5 books that I want to reread because I am really starting to find that even when I read and call books favourites or 5-star them, I sometimes forget a lot of the story points or a lot of the big plot twists, and I want to kind of refresh my brain on books that I have favourited or 5 stars in the past and see if they still live up to that rating or live up to that favourite status. I recently reread the Bully series by Penelope Douglas, and I have a vlog, I will leave it linked somewhere. And when I first read them, they were favourites and I enjoyed every one, 5-starred every one. Upon reread, I didn't 5-star every one, they are still favourites and it's still a beloved series to me, but they weren't as I remembered completely, and it was interesting to go back and read these books that I had previously marked as 5 stars and previously marked as favourites and see if they still held that place in my reading heart. So I want to do that again and see if I can replicate the same feelings the second time reading them, because I think that you read books at a certain point in your life and it could be a 5 stars at that point in your life, but it could potentially not be a 5 stars after a couple of years have went by and you're a more wide read reader and you just find it not the same way as you remembered. This could also be detrimental to some of my favourites because maybe they all won't live up to the hype that I gave them when I first read them. Hopefully they will, but I guess we'll have to see. I think I'm going to make this kind of like a series on my channel where I reread favourites and see if they come up as still favourites or still 5 stars, because it's very interesting and I also get to revisit some of the worlds and some of the characters that I've previously loved, and that's fun to me. So kicking off this list, I have one that's going to call me out because I call myself a Sarah J Maas fan, and I am, but I have not completed the Throne of Glass series. Don't judge me. I got to... I read all the way up to Queen of Shadows and then stopped reading, and I didn't have the momentum to pick up Empire of Storms because I had stopped reading for so long. I had taken myself out the world and not really been in it enough to really enjoy the last couple of books. So at some point I would really like to go back and reread this series up to Queen of Shadows and then experience the last 3 books, hopefully not such a big gap in between, because I feel like I kind of done myself a disservice by waiting so long to read the last 3 books. I read the first 4 fairly quickly and I enjoyed them immensely, but again I left too long in between books, and then when I went to pick up Empire of Storms I wasn't enjoying it because I was a little lost. Not lost, I still knew what was going on, but I felt like I had been out of the world too long. I wasn't getting the right amount of enjoyment that I should be getting. So I decided this year I'm going to pick up Throne of Glass at some point. I don't know when, I don't know how much of the series I will get through. It is not so much I want to finish the series this whole year, it's more that I want to at least pick up the first book and reread the first book and then continue on next year with the series and hopefully finish it next year. If I can get through more than this one book this year, then great. If I can't, then I will continue it into next year. I just want to not leave so long in between each book as to get the most enjoyment out of this as I can. The next book I have here is Did I Mention I Love You by Estelle Mascom, and the reason I want to reread this is because I recently read the After series by Anna Todd, and I felt like the After series gave me the same kind of vibe as this. I do think this series is more my cup of tea. I think it's better written and I enjoy the characters more in this series. So even though these books gave me the same kind of vibes, I didn't get the same enjoyment out of them. I didn't really like the After series, but I had fun reading it, and I definitely had fun reading this Dimly series. And I want to go back and kind of see if these still stand up as favourites, how I feel about them. And I read these, I think I must have been about 18 when I read these, and I think my mind and thought process has grown, it's matured. So I don't know how much enjoyment I'll still get out of these books, but I do remember loving them. And I do remember Eden and Tyler being a couple that I rooted for. And there's this saying no te rendas in this book that I wrote on my Converses when I first read this book. And like, this just gave me all the feels the first time round. So now, after going through and reading the After series, I kind of want to reread this one, see how my thoughts have changed, see if it's still a favourite, and get what I didn't get from After in this, hopefully. The next book I have here is Clockwork Angel, but also simultaneously I'm going to put City of Bones onto this list. I want to reread Clockwork Angel because The Infernal Devices is my favourite series or trilogy from Cassandra Clare. I fell in love with it. I love these characters. I love this world. But I do think this trilogy stands on its own. I think it is one of Cassandra Clare's best writing, and the characters are the best characters, essentially, in my mind. I've been craving a love triangle, and I haven't read a good one in so long, and this love triangle, guys, is like elite god tier, elite. Like, Jem, Tessa and Will are my babies, and I want to just open this book and rejoin their world and their romance, and hopefully I will love it just as much as I did the first and second time I've read this, because I've already reread this. City of Bones, on the other hand, I had issues with City of Bones, or The Mortal Instruments. I originally picked this up from the library, read a couple of chapters and returned it because I DNF'd it. I wasn't really in the booktube community at this time. I just picked up books that sounded interesting that I seen at the library. But then I found Poland Bananas books, and I seen Christine rave about this series and knew that I had to get my hands on them. At the time, I didn't have a lot of funds, so I went through all the charity shops close to me and I found the first 3 books, I believe, and I then ordered the rest secondhand online. So my collection, I do have it, I'm just not moving it because I'm lazy. I do have it, but my collection is kind of mixed and matched. They're all the same covers and editions, but they're all from different places. They're all pre-loved, and this is what kind of catapulted me back into reading again, this series. I did enjoy it. I did really enjoy it, but it just doesn't stand up to this. So I think what I want from City of Bones is that nostalgic feeling, because I have been in a reading slump recently, if you did not know. It's been terrible, and I think that I want to pick up books more precisely now, and especially like going back and looking on books that I've previously liked and finding books that are not similar but are in like the same kind of, like, not category, but like I want to find something like the world of City of Bones in adult fantasy, and I want to find the kind of love and addiction I had to this series and The Infernal Devices in a new series, because I read The Mortal Instruments in like a year, which is really fast for me. I don't normally read big series that quickly, especially since at the time I wasn't a huge reader. I just read now and then, so it was a big deal for me, and I kind of want to go back and see how I feel about it now and enjoy this world again, because I do enjoy the Shadowhunter world. I do still have to read Chain of Iron because I haven't read that yet, but I want to reread these books at the same time and kind of relive that fascination and addiction I had to them when I first got back into reading after not reading for so long. The next book I have here is Clean by Juno Dawson. This is totally going to mess with the lighting and it is very shiny, so I'm only going to show it for a minute. This is Clean by Juno Dawson. I originally read Clean and absolutely adored it. I think that Juno Dawson's writing is really amazing and I like the way that they write characters, but I think that I want to go back into this because I remember it being quite heavy on the topic matter because it does follow a teenager who deals with a drug addiction, and I remember the premise of the story, but I don't remember how it ended. And every time I look on my shelves at this book, I try and rack my brain to remember what happens at the end, and it's not there. And I've already read this book twice, but I just completely forgotten the ending of this book. So yeah, I want to reread Clean just so I can like figure out what the ending was, and hopefully I will enjoy this just as much the second time as the third time as I did the first and the second time, because I remember having a huge blast with this. I think I read it in one sitting and just really enjoyed myself, so hopefully I can do that again and maybe vlog it and do like a 24-hour reading vlog with this book, this ultra shiny book, and hopefully replicate the feelings I had the first time. And the last book, and probably the book I am most itching to pick up and reread, is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I have already read this. I read it when it first came out and I did love it. It is a favourite and I want to pick it up again. My friend Seffi over at What F Reads is reading this for the first time now, and they are annotating it, and I'm so jealous. I need my copy to be annotated just the same. And I think they have a vlog out, so I will maybe leave that link down below so you could check that out. But I want to reread this and annotate it and maybe vlog it because I wasn't on YouTube when I first read this, so that wasn't really a thing that I could do. But now that I can, maybe I should. And watching Seffi read this and annotate and find this story for the first time, and just the love I have for V. Schwab and their writing style and just everything about them, essentially everything about their books, I cannot wait to dive back into this and hopefully like favourite it again and annotate it and just fall in love with Addie and Henry all over again. And I hope that I maybe even enjoy it more than I did the first time, because the first time I read this I read right up to like the 400-page mark and then I listened to the rest on audio because I couldn't wait and I wasn't in a position to pick up the physical book. So I think that kind of took my enjoyment down a little bit because I swapped formats. So I think reading this physically and annotating, taking my time, it will come out as a favourite and I will have an annotated copy of Addie, which I'm so excited for. Also, I have this beautiful edition that has just these anniversary edition that just has these beautiful artwork, and then the cover has this beautiful hardback, and I love it. I don't know if I will annotate this version or if I will annotate my normal version. I think I might annotate my normal version just because it is like, I don't think annotating is ruining your book at all, but I think this one I'm going to be less precious with, whereas this one is like gorgeous and I don't want to take away from its beauty, whereas this one I can love and ruin to my heart's content. But yeah, like either way, one of these is getting annotated and reread. And that is it. That is 6 books that I have that I want to reread, hopefully in the not too near future. I hope to maybe do some vlogs for some of these, so if you're interested, stick around and come join the mess that is Head in the Books. I try my best, but sometimes I suck, and you know what, it's okay because I enjoy reading and I hope you enjoy some of the content that I put out there, and hopefully enjoy some future content with some of these books. So hopefully I will get to these sooner rather than later and enjoy some of the nostalgic feelings and see if I will re-favourite some of my old favourites. That is it for me, so I hope you have a great day, a great week, a great weekend whenever you're watching this. Remember to stay safe, happy, and healthy, and be your badass self, and I will see you next time. Bye.